Welcome to Journey of Awakening. My name is David, and today I'm going to share with you a story of my first spiritual awakening and my direct realization of God. Now, I want to start this off with a disclaimer that I am no spiritual master. I know absolutely nothing. You shouldn't take anything I'm saying here as dogma or belief. Believing me or any other spiritual teacher will only make you deluded, because the profound truths that you get to with spirituality cannot be communicated. So any idea of what you think God is or what you think the absolute is not it. So you have to leave your mind open enough to be able to actually experience these truths for yourself. And what I'm telling you is that you can experience these truths for yourself. And I'll give you some tips on how to do that towards the end of the video. So I want to make it clear that I am not religious. I was never really religious. I did grow up going to weekly Catholic school, but I never really believed it. I never really caught on. I kind of just felt forced to go by my parents, and definitely would never call myself a Catholic or even a Christian. So then in high school, after I stopped going to religious school, I became atheist for maybe like a year or so. And then after that, I became agnostic. I'm like, okay, I acknowledge I don't really know if there is a higher power. How could I know? And since I haven't proven anything to myself, I'll just leave it as an I don't know. So, and I do think that's the right stance for anyone who hasn't had an awakening yet, because, like I said, you don't want to just believe other people, even if it does feel right to you, even if it intuitively sounds like it's legit. You still want to sort of view spirituality as an empirical investigation into truth. Because ultimately, at its core, that's what spirituality is. It's not about, it's not about energy and Reiki and being psychic. It's about discovering truth at its core. So this awakening happened about 6 months ago, back in September 2019. And I was visiting a friend at Ohio University, staying in his apartment for the weekend. And also for the following weekend, I had planned my first ayahuasca ceremony in Kentucky. So that weekend, while I was in OU, I got a call from the head minister of this church. And we talked for about an hour about healing and about God. So I had a lot of questions. I was open to the idea, but I hadn't proven to myself. But I was asking all of these questions, and he was helping me a lot. He was answering a lot of my questions, and it made me rethink a lot of the concepts that I had. So after this conversation, I was like, I was just sort of in the state of confusion, like, maybe some of my ideas were wrong. I don't really know. And then, I sat on my friend's couch looking out his balcony window, and this is after he went to sleep, and I was just looking out the window. And out of nowhere, like a lightning bolt, I was struck by this realization. And I was just like, oh my God. And tears were rolling down my face. And I was just, this wave of gratitude filled my heart, filled my entire body. And I just sat there like, oh my God, thank you. And it's so hard to put this into words, because this isn't a concept. This isn't an idea. I didn't discover some new fact or make some new connection in my mind. It was beyond my mind in a way. The best way that I can put this into words is that I realized that God is not somewhere out there behind the scenes or some bearded man in the clouds. God is everything I've ever experienced. God is right in front of me, and I'm staring God in the face right now, and I always have been. And also simultaneously, I sort of realized that I try to rationalize this existence. I try to make sense of it, but it is an absolute miracle. This existence is pure magic. And all of this just hit me at once, and I just felt so grateful to be alive, so grateful that existence is. And it was the most amazing, transformative experience at the time of my life. And so since then I've had some much deeper awakenings than this, but this is the one that really opened the floodgates to the other one, because I was finally able to acknowledge, like, oh, like, this is what God is. And that for me opened up the door to much deeper awakenings, which I'll be sharing in future videos. But if you're someone who is on the spiritual path, is exploring these ideas for yourself, and you want to have this experience, I would say, be patient, first of all. It took me about 5 years of spiritual practice before I had this first awakening. Luckily, I was able to find teachers who could convey to me how important this is to take this path. And wow, am I glad I listened, because this is so worth all the time, all the work. There's nothing more important than discovering truth, at least to me in my life. And what I'm claiming is that if you take on this philosophy of dedicating yourself to finding the truth, that you will live a profound, meaningful, and beautiful life. And you will almost transcend a lot of the suffering that 99% of people go through. And that's the path I'm on. And I want to help you advance yourself down this path by sharing my insights as I go through it as well. Because like I said, I'm no master. I haven't transcended all my fear or all my pain. Like, I'm just a normal guy, and I'm working hard to discover these truths for myself. And I want to say that don't beat yourself up too much if you're on this path and you're struggling to stay consistent, because it has always been a struggle for me as well. I started this about 5 years ago, and I had intended to meditate every single day and do yoga and do contemplation and self-inquiry and all this stuff. But really, there was times where I would listen to so much spiritual teachings, and I would meditate every day for like months at a time. But there was also times where I would just lose interest and not meditate for like 6 months straight. So I was very, very inconsistent, but I stuck with it long enough. I kept coming back to it, and eventually I came to this awakening. And, you can too. So what were the most important realizations that kind of led up to this idea, or led up to this awakening? First of all, open-mindedness is absolutely key, as I mentioned, because if you close off your mind to these possibilities, you're absolutely eliminating your chance of experiencing them. And also, the practice is by far the most important part. So actually doing the meditation, doing the contemplation, questioning your most foundational, fundamental assumptions about reality. This can be difficult, but it can really shake you up. It can really put you through some difficult times when you're questioning your entire worldview, you're questioning your sanity. All of this stuff is, coming to the surface. And also a lot of the trauma and the fear that's keeping your mind in place comes out with it. So this is by no means an easy path, but let me tell you, my friends, it is so worth it. So the best practices I would say that helped me achieve this are meditation, first and foremost. That is the most important. I wouldn't say it's too important which specific kind of meditation you're doing. Concentration practice can be really helpful. Kriya Yoga has been really helpful to me. And also contemplation is vital. So questioning your beliefs. Also asking the question, what am I? Who am I? Or self-inquiry is a really helpful practice. So I hope this helps. Again, don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. That would be silly. Do the practices. I encourage you to go down this path. You will not regret it. And thank you so much for listening. And I hope you have a beautiful day. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. And if you want to follow the future journey and hear about these insights and other awakenings that I've had, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll have those videos out soon. Have a great day.